Every single tutorial that I've seen for FL Studio is just, it's bad. It doesn't help you, doesn't teach you anything. And I'm going to do this in the simplest way possible by giving you the only bare minimum of what you need to start off with music. Everything else I would suggest you learn as you go, but for the beginning, which you absolutely need, I'm going to teach you here. So to start off, this is a very confusing interface. I feel like a lot of people get confused with what they're looking at because there's so much buttons and so much things to do. But I'll tell you, a lot of these buttons you do not need at all. So I'm going to have a setup here that's going to help you understand better. So this is the setup, and I'm going to show you how to put it like this. I want you to put it in this setup so that you don't get confused. Usually your FL Studio is going to have all these full screen. So when you click on these buttons up here at the top, this is your playlist, this is your piano roll, and this is your channel rack. It's going to look like this. This is what your FL Studio is going to look like when you first use it. What I want you to do is unfull screen it, make it smaller. Do the same thing for the piano roll, unfull screen, make it smaller, and then fit it like this, right next to each other. And then your channel rack in the middle, or wherever you really want it. Doesn't matter, but I put it in the middle. That's going to help you a lot, because these three buttons are the really the three main things you're going to need. I'll go into some of these other things as well, because they're still pretty important, but they're not nearly as important as these three. So to start off, I'm going to go over here to our playlist, and I'm going to put in a pattern. And when I click on this pattern, it's going to show me it on the right. I put in a kick by accident, so let me delete that. But as you can see, when I place down something, it shows in the pattern over there. On your channel rack, we're going to see by default, you're going to have your 808 kick, 808 clap, 808 hi-hat, and 808 snare. If you go over here to the top, your drop-down menu and your piano roll is going to have the same thing. Anything that you add to your channel rack is going to get into your piano roll. So this is where we're going to add our plugins. To add a plugin, you can push the plus right here to see your plugins list, or how I like to do it, I go to add more plugins and it shows you all your plugins. I'll put in a default plugin. I'll put in 3x Osc. It's the top plugin right there. And now when I added it, it shows up right here in my channel rack. Now I can go back over here to my piano roll and place down a note. And when I push space, it's going to play that note. To delete a note, you can hold right click and drag over it, and that will delete the note, along with other tools like you can cut, you can select, and you can play the note back using this thing. So I just made like a little chord right there off camera. You can click over and loop it on your song. But let's say that you make another pattern. Let's say that you make another pattern and you add something else, like I add like a clap here. But I want to hear just the instrument. I'm gonna click, and when I click, it'll already pop up on the side here. This way. When I click, I'll push, instead of pushing song right here, I'll push pattern, so I can only hear the pattern part and not what's in the playlist. So to switch between hearing what's in the pattern and what's in the playlist, you push pattern and song. And you could see that it switches. The green goes from right here to over here. I've taught you how to place down the notes. I've taught you how to make your music. This is very simplistic. Now I'm going to get into a little bit more of the complex things, now that I've taught you just the simple basics of music. So audio clips. Putting in an audio clip, you can do so. You have a packs by default on your left with drums, hi-hats, everything you can think of, sound effects. All of these are audio clips, and audio clips kind of work differently in FL Studio than everything else. There's two ways you can put an audio clip. It's through obviously your packs over here, and then in Edison you load up your own sound. I have my sound that I just loaded up by clicking and then selecting the sound. And to put your sound in, you need to either you can drag it in by holding this and then putting it in the playlist, or clicking this button right here, which will put it in the playlist instantly. You could do it over here. If I drag in a kick, I could do it right here to make a pattern, or you could drag it in the thing itself. Either way, this works. This is applicable. So little looping kick, don't. And you can copy that, go over here and paste it using Control-C, Control-V, you know, or to undo right here. And if you right click on the undo, all the things that you've done are here, and you can undo or redo whatever you want. So I'm gonna undo, copying and pasting it over, and then go back to my audio over here. So over here is your project browser, and this is your all your normal stuff. So let's say the kick, I want to edit it. I can turn it up, turn the pitch up. I get to put it, reverse it, control where it starts, control where it ends, and control how fast it fades in or out. Now, the thing about audio clips is when you put it in, if you want to later, you decide that you don't like the speed of your song and you go to change the BPM up here, the tempo, which will speed up or slow down the song. So I'll turn it up. You can see in my audio clip, it moves with it. And let's say I don't want that, like maybe for things that are supposed to stay on sync, audio clips that are supposed to stay on sync, like a sample. You can tell it moves, and I don't want that, so let's do double click, and I'll put it on stretch mode, so it's stretched and stuck on this specific part, so every time I turn it up or down, it doesn't move at all. Now the next thing I'm going to go into on the more complex side is the mixer. The mixer allows you to mix instruments in your song, so we're going to have the first, second, third, and fourth mixer already used by our default 808 kick, clap, hi-hat, and snare. So I'm going to use the fifth and sixth mixer. Let's say I want to add an effect to my chord right here. So since I just put on the fifth mixer on my channel rack by dragging to the fifth one right here, when I play it, it's going to light up there because that's where it's playing now. Now I can go over here, and there's a bunch of effects you can mess with. I'm going to put a delay. This plugin itself already adds a little bit of a delay for me, so I'm going to add an effector plugin, which is a default on FL Studio, and I'm going to lo-fi it. So that sounds nice. You could do that with anything you want, and a bunch of the effects do different things. So experiment with every single plugin and every single effect you have. Now the final thing that I want to get into is sampling things and setting them on your BPM of your song so you could more effectively sample the song. So I have my sample loaded up already right here. This is my song, and I'm going to show you how you can sync it to BPM and use it as a sample. So first I'm going to turn on my metronome so I can hear the BPM of my song, and then hear the BPM of the sample. You could tell they're not in sync, and to fix that, we can go over here. We can fit the song to tempo, and we're going to select, since our BPM is 130, we're going to select 75 to 150 because 130 is in the middle, and it's going to detect that. Hopefully it's not accurate all the time, so you may get the wrong results, but since this song is very simple, it will get it right. And now it's on BPM, and I can use whatever part of the song I want. So I'm going to use the vocals of the song. I can do that. I can extract the stems and I'll use the vocals. You can get the instruments, the drums or the bass, but I'm going to extract the vocals here.
And there's nothing that I don't ever say to bring me out this masticating alone.
I got the vocals and I'll bring them over here and I'll use it. So
Nothing that I don't ever say to bring me out this.
Right now they're on the vocals, it's on BPM, everything's good, but the one thing that's off is the pitch. So I'm going to double click and I'll put it on stretch, because like I said before, when you put something on stretch, it fits it and boxes it to your current BPM. So that's going to be very helpful. And then now I'm going to change the pitch here. I could do that with this pitch knob or this pitch knob. I'll do it with this one right now. And this one you kind of gotta listen with your ear, like whatever. You may go through the pitches, whichever one sounds the best.
Nothing that I don't ever say to bring me out this masticating alone.
So that's cool, I got it.
Nothing that I don't ever say to bring me out this masticating alone. So I'll sing a song to make my day and all the worries shunned away on my own.
So there you go, I changed the pitch 200 cents down, which would be about like 2 notes down. And that's about it. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I'm going to do more in the future, so if you have any other things you want to learn or you want me to teach you, put it in the comments. Thank you.